What's up, everyone? Russ Whitaker back on YouTube for a review of 2.3 Gingerbread on the Motorola Atrix 4G. Now, I know this is a little late. I do realize that Gingerbread was released quite a while ago, but I just figured for the viewers that are on my channel, I would do this for a little surprise, just to make everyone familiar with the 2.3 update. So if you're curious about getting this phone, you're going to definitely want to know about the software. So let's jump right into this review here of 2.3 Gingerbread. So as you can tell, we do have a big difference in our icons and our themes. I do have Go Launcher EX installed on this as a custom launcher via Android Market. That's a good way to customize it if you don't want to root your phone, which is pretty dangerous to do so right now. Of course, because the Atrix does not have an official bootloader at the current time. So again, you can get that. You can do many things off the Android Market to customize your device. Okay, so let's jump right into the review of this here. So again, this is Android 2.3 Gingerbread on the Atrix, and the update came about a month or two ago from now. And I can tell you, now Android is not fully taking advantage of the dual-core processor on this phone. In a way it is, but it does still need optimizations, and you can see I have a 3D cube effect on my icons here. Okay, so let's jump into a couple more topics here we can go through. The biggest thing you'll notice is the theme, Moto Blur. I gotta be serious with you, I don't like it. No one really does like it, and if you do, then that's fine, you're entitled to your opinion. But as you can see, you have less of that blur effect, your Moto Blur effect. And the thing is, it slows down your phone. Even with a dual-core chipset, NVIDIA Tegra 2 chipset in this phone, it does actually quite slow it down a good bit. And with this new software update, I'm not seeing that lag anymore that it had with the Moto Blur. So I don't know what Motorola did different with this software update in the last update, but it definitely did fix the speed problems that we had. Actually on Antutu benchmark, if that's how I pronounce it, don't quote me on it, I don't know. We actually are getting 4,500 in benchmarking scores, opposed to 2,500 beforehand. That's just a rough guess. Okay, let's jump through a couple more things. So that's the wrong app, I'm sorry. As you can see, you have a real smooth effect here on home screens if it would actually change. I don't know why it hit that. With the custom launcher as well, it is a lot more customizable. I mean, you can put it in landscape mode, portrait mode. It does a lot of stuff for you. And as you can see, you can do that with this. It's very smooth, very quick. I have to say about 10 times quicker than with the last update it had with this update here. So that's a big plus. Let's jump on to the internet browser. And I do notice that the browser performance is a little better in this case. This is my YouTube channel you're looking at. Also, don't forget to subscribe to me on youtube.com/724-777-19302, or you can go to www.724-777-19302.weebly.com. I'm also located there, and I will be updating that site as much as I can. Okay, so let's take a couple more things here. Let's do a benchmark test, because I know everyone's curious to see how this thing performs with a 2.3 update. So how about we go run a benchmarking test with this benchmarking test I cannot pronounce, I'm sorry. Okay, you see the last score I got was 4160, and that was about a couple weeks ago I took that. So we're going to do another test here. Of course, we're going to do every test: CPU, memory, 2D graphics, 3D graphics, database, I/O, SD card, and I/O performance. Okay, let's take a test right now. This may take a few minutes here. First it'll go through testing CPU and memory usage. In other words, RAM, ROM, whatever. Okay, so it'll run through that. It'll do a vigorous amount of tests, and it should come around the 4100 area. And there's been actually a time where I hit 4600, which is pretty impressive. It kind of depends on the day, and it kind of depends on what kind of apps you have running and how many apps, or your battery. Has a lot of factors. So we'll let it run through this test here. Should take about roughly 2 to 3 minutes to fully complete. Also, another good testing app is NeoCore by Adreno Graphics. That app will definitely test your graphics performance, and this thing has a Tegra 2 chipset in it, so the graphics are superb on this case. Here, actually, I've had about 55 frames per second, about the same as the Samsung Captivate. I'm actually surprised to see the Captivate in terms actually beat this by a couple frames per second at one time, and I don't know how that works. I don't know how that's even possible, because this is updated to Tegra 2 dual core, and that is a single core Hummingbird processor on the Captivate. So I don't know how that happened, in my opinion. So Okay, we are now testing CPU integer performance. This will test the speed of the processor. Now it's testing the float point, which means it just lets the CPU run down to its lowest frequency. And the 2D graphics, little androids popping all over the place. I don't understand why they're using that. Anyway. So it'll run through that 2D graphics test. Then it'll do a 3D effect test, and it'll give you the frames per second on the bottom left-hand corner. It should. And also, a couple of strong points to this phone. If you're looking to get this phone, the battery is outstanding. It has a 1930 milliamp hour battery. Actually, the biggest battery I've seen in a phone before, and actually could be the biggest battery in a phone as we know of. And we were reading it in about 52.5 frames per second on a 3D test. And this is incredibly smooth. With a dual-core processor, this runs through anything. You cannot slow this thing down, actually. The only thing that actually considerably slowed it down was the Moto Blur. And you can see we're on to 3D graphics test again with about 46 frames per second. Not bad. And we're rising as time goes on. Surprised they didn't put androids in for those people. That's what they normally do. Running about 51 to 52 frames per second. We are now testing database I/O performance, now SD card write speed. Now also, if you do decide to root to your phone, you can go into the Android market. It's called SD speed increase. Now what this does is it maximizes the amount of data sent within a second to your SD card. In other words, read and sent. So whenever you do this test, you'll get a lot higher score because right now it's flowing about 14.2 megabits per second with, I think it's with writing, and reading is about 4 megabits per second. So nothing bad, but if you do decide to root the phone, I'd recommend getting that because you will notice a big speed increase with that app because you don't realize how much the phone relies on the SD card to work. So you're now testing SD card read speed, and we're going to expect to store about 4100 to 4500 after it finishes. Which shouldn't be that much longer here. There will be, it looks like, another part to this video because I have more to explain. And no time. Oh, I forgot I actually can upload 15-minute videos. Okay, actually, that is the highest score I've ever seen on this device before. A 4704. Again, that is the highest speed. Let's take a look at the score chart here and see how we compare. So we are past the Motorola Zoom tablet. We are surpassing Nexus S, Desire HD, Nexus 1, Motorola Defy, HTC Hero, and HTC Wildfire. The second place of this is LG Optimus 2X, and the first place is Samsung Galaxy S2, which can be expected. That phone is a complete beast, is what I've heard. So again, this isn't too bad. Came in third place out of all those top-end smartphones. Now let's take a look here. The Optimus 2X did better in 2D graphics, but actually the Motorola Zoom did worse in 3D graphics than it did on the Motorola Atrix. So pretty surprising information here I'm learning from this phone. And again, this phone is not rooted. The only thing custom on this phone is the launcher. Okay, guys, so let's see what else we can jump into here. Wrong one. Okay, I'm going to run you guys through a little bit a tutorial of the new software. So with the new software, you have different widgets, of course. You have different styles. So as you can see, this, like I said, this 3D effect does not come stock. You have to get Go Launcher EX right here off the Android market. It is free. And I believe there is a paid version, but why pay for something that you really shouldn't be paying for anyway? Okay, a couple other things in here. Your mobile hotspot is on here, of course. You have Need for Speed Shift downloaded, pre-installed. The thing is, you have to download an additional 100 megabits of data to actually run that game. And also, we have a couple neat games. That is the wrong one again. A couple neat games you can download for, maybe, not my day. For instance, we have a good app here. It's called Speed Boost. I will show you on the device here. This app does a lot actually for your phone. You have the option to clean your system, optimize your cache, increase CPU speed, or CPU set to stock speed. Now, do not worry, this does not actually overclock your processor, so if you're afraid of frying your phone, don't be, because this actually frees up the stress and the ROM usage on your computer chip on your phone, and actually gives you a pretty noticeable speed increase. So we can clean the system out, optimize the cache on the system, and you notice at least 2 to 3 times speed boost on your phone after you run this. Depending if you use a phone like I do, I go through my 4 GB data plan less than a month, and I'm paying